right, I have come to the decision. Let me check this out. After around 18 hours or so, as you can see here from the save file, I'm flushing this game, meaning I'm just not playing it anymore. Reason being, I love JRPGs. However, this is one of those games where the more you play and the more you play, the more cracks start to show. It's very, very predictable, very basic, but it all boils down to a game is only really good and makes me want to finish it only if it gets better over time. Usually in the form of exploration, unlocking new mechanics, things getting more difficult, the story being well played out. And this one, the more you play, it's just not great. So there's a reason that I'm not finishing this, but there is quite a lot. There is quite a lot. First of all, I already did a review earlier, like last month or so, talking about the mechanics of the game. So I'm not gonna go into like the story and the mechanics. I'm just gonna quickly do the good and the bad. So if you want to see, me talking about the story and stuff, the main YouTube, the first video is all about that. I'm just gonna give you some quick goods and bads on whether or not, like, telling people whether or not it's for them or not. If you finished Octopath Traveler 1, you're gonna like this. If you finished number 2, you're going to like this. If you stopped playing those games, you are going to do the same here. It is the same format, except with a smaller group of individuals. Octopath is 8. They still are using the name Octopath because, well, that's the franchise now. Instead of using 8 protagonists, you have 1 main protagonist and you have 7 other followers, so I guess it is still Octopath Traveler in a sense. The best parts of this game that kept me wanting to play more and more is the town building, because it's actually pretty cool. Throughout the game, you get to unlock buildings, you get to customize them in their looks. You see, I have a snowman here randomly, and then you can walk around town every once in a while and collect the goods from your party members. As the game goes on, you're going to be unlocking new parts of the map and slowly rebuilding your town, and that is actually really satisfying to see. The problem with that, though, is once again, I'm like, 18 plus hours. It takes really, really, really long for any of the content of this to continue being, progressed and progress. You always get like, okay, you unlock one plot of land and customize it for a little bit. Then you have to go do a bunch of other quests that take around 3 hours or so before you can come back and do it again. Now, you can go out of your way because the game is very open-ended in terms of, I want to do this quest, I want to do that quest. The bad thing is, if you do the quest out of order, you're going to be extremely overpowered. For example, your main character, you pretty much have 4 major quests at the start of the game, which is rebuild the town, defeat Herminia, defeat Titos, defeat Auguste. If you continue to do chapter 1 of Herminia, chapter 2, and chapter 3 of Herminia, it goes from level 6, 12, 18 or something like that, and then 20, and then you're going to be too high if you go to chapter 1 of Auguste, which is going to be a level 6. So you're going to be steamrolling through those. So it's pretty much recommended that you do all of your quests, all of your main quests, in order of what's the lowest quest. So, okay, everything is a 6 quest, I want to do all the 6s. The problem there is if you do a level 6 quest, you're going to be level 8. So you do the other level 6 quest, you're going to be level 10. If you do the other level 6 quests, you might be 11 or so after that. Then you're going to be super strong. The really cool part of starting all of those quests is when you are weak and you are going in and you're fighting the baseline quest for the first time, because that's when it starts to get a little bit more crazier. Even without, I never grinded, I never stopped to grind. I literally went point A to B to continue and beat everything that I wanted. But it just got to the point where it's the same thing over and over. All of your chapter 1s, one of the chapters is good, and then the rest of them, regardless if you like the story or not, gameplay wise, it gets easier and easier and easier, which makes everything a little bit more complacent and boring. Same thing with all of your chapter 2s. They all start at example level 12. You beat level 12, you're 14. You beat another level 12, you're 16. You beat another 12, you're gonna keep going. It doesn't help that the game is in the presentation that it is. When Octopath first came out, the whole gimmick was, it's 2D HD, it's amazing, great, Square Enix, the music is wonderful. It's the same thing. Same thing with this game. The graphics are fine, the music is wonderful, but it's like so many years after the second game, and they even came out with the mobile game, where it's just not that, it's not carrying the game anymore. The gameplay is what I thought would be enough for me to keep playing. but it's just the first game and the second game all over again. Yeah, a little minor differences here and there, especially with how you build your main character. And because you have 7 or 8 characters in a party now, you keep switching back and forth, the heal in the backline, interactions with the backline, frontline, etc. So that's really cool that the gameplay is evolving, but man, the package all around it really makes me not want to play it anymore, which is the story is really boring and really melodramatic and just really not good. If you just skipped everything and just played the game, it might be better. But even if you skip all the story, you still have to go through all of the dungeons, which are barely anything other than walking through some really nice looking maps, but it's nothing there. Every once in a while, there's a chest that gives you a little bit of money or an item that you just get from an enemy. Sometimes there is a mini boss that you can fight, which is the highlights of dungeons. But other than that, they're really boring to walk through. The main town's boring. It's one of those JRPGs where it's a random battle encounter. That's not bad at all. Battles are end quick at all. And fighting enemies is actually fun too, because you can learn their weaknesses, fight, and really, get to customize your characters. But at the same time, man, it's not enough. The really thing that bogged it down is the story and pacing and the sort of leveling system. I really like it in games where actually you can, go and do anything you want and it doesn't scale with you. I think it works completely fine. But for some reason, the package here just doesn't work. You don't really care too much about the characters that you meet and all these stories. You only have your main character, and once you actually start recruiting other characters, you basically, like a lot of them at the beginning of the game, you simply talk to them, maybe give them an item that you already had, and then they join you. So you have a bunch of characters. It's really a really cool thing though, is you get some characters from the past games. I'm not going to spoil who, but it's really cool. So I really do like that aspect. But after 18 hours, the more I played, the more I was just disappointed. So that's really unfortunate. I know a lot of people are going to like this game. And like I said, if you played the first one and you beat it, you're going to like this one. If you played the second one, you're going to like this one too. If you haven't finished those, you're not going to finish this one either, because it's kind of the same thing. The evolution of the town building is so great. It's just unfortunate that it comes to a screeching halt. Every single time you finish a town quest, you're like, okay, what can I build? Nothing. You're done. Go do something else. Which is those 3 boring things. So the pacing is really slow and bad, and it just takes way too long to get to the good stuff. And once you do get to the good stuff, it's going to be over quick, and then you have to keep going to the boring stuff, blah blah. If for some reason you do like every single one of these stories, then great. But I don't know, man. After playing so many JRPGs, it's just like, it's very inconsequential. Like, I finished a bunch of these chapters, but none of it has really overbearing like stories, arcs, and everything. Like, that's what makes like, other good JRPGs like Tales of, Symphonia or Final Fantasy X. It's building and building and building and keeps going. Here it's just that chapter's done. All those characters that you met, all those people that you fought against are just gone forever. Don't worry about them. Forget about them. Same thing with all these chapters. It's just, it's boring story, very melodramatic, and because it's 2D HD, it's very like, I don't know. It doesn't work anymore. I mean, play this or play Expedition 33. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, Expedition 33's story is a mocap, beautiful music, good cinematography, directing, 3D models. It just works. Here, just voices, very funny sprite work. It just doesn't work anymore. So with a game like this, I would expect gameplay to trump everything. But once again, it's the same gameplay from the first 2 games, slightly different skills, but you're basically doing the same thing. Find a weakness, attack them, break them, heal so you don't die, attack, break weaknesses, same thing over and over again. But now you just have your power level slightly higher because you have so many characters. But at the same time, battles are way too easy at the beginning when you get to them, and later on, because you have to go to different chapters in different orders. So that's why I'm flushing the game. So that's it for Octopath Traveler. I'm gonna upload the latest episode here on the main channel, but if you guys want to see episodes 1 through 15, I think it is, it's gonna be on the Let's Play channel. But I'll put episode 16, which is gonna be 2 hours long, of me finishing the last acts of the first part of the game here on this channel. And then when we start our next game, I'm gonna post it all here as well. So the Let's Play channel is going to stop being a Let's Play channel for a while. It's going to be a highlight channel. And then the main channel is going to be the reviews and highlights and, the reviews and Let's Plays, etc. But that's it. Just wanted to give my final thoughts on this before I flush it. It's a good game. Just, my God, I just can't justify playing it when it's just so bland. It's putting me to sleep. So that's it. I mean, I'd rather play like, I don't know, Chrono Trigger again or something like that. But anyways, that's it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thanks for watching Octopath Traveler. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. One thing I need to do, and I sometimes do this, is let's go ahead and actually look at the Steam page. I'm playing on Switch, but let's look at the Steam page for Octopath and see what people like and dislike about it, just as a baseline. I know what I liked, but let's see what people liked as well. Let's see. Yeah, people like it. So 22 hours, new story, custom character, up to 36. Wow. Well, actually, let's go to the let's actually do it over here because we can increase the size of the font here. So I'll do this for like a couple minutes. Let's see. Of Two Minds, 31 hours. I appreciate the willingness to retool a mobile game. It's also a freaking asset flip too. Stripping out the gotcha, make it good story. I can't speak to the rest of the game. The game's content is fine. Freaking nice visually. Despite its humble origins, the music is pleasant. Very pleasant. Interesting. Despite its humble origins, voice acting, especially after today's release, the sound quality patch. Combat is similar to the other ones and fine. Battles are engaging. Nothing about the battle system was life-changing. Don't expect this to scratch the Dark Cloud. See, Dark Cloud, dude, Dark Cloud is so good. I want to go play that game again. Now you might be asking yourself, what's the problem? Oh my God. See, this guy played double the hours that I have, and he has the exact same big complaint. The plot. Your protagonist peaceful is destroyed by some villains. The premise is generic. That's fine. That's completely fine. The real problem is the narrative is boring. 3 villains you chase down during your initial quest. You're introduced to a comically evil villain. They do things that, you know, they put up with, and eventually someone helps you. Main character arcs feel so formulaic. It's very little intrigue, very little. It's so basic. For even JRPG standards, this is basic as hell and boring. It shows the antagonist perspective, leaves no mystery. They're very one notes. With all that being said, I gave it a thumbs up. I believe Zero sets an important precedence who have released mobile games. I want to see more people. So he's basically saying, good job on the asset flip. This guy's 100 hours. Great port of Champions of Continents. I wish there was more Wishville content and more areas to explore, as well as the secondary jobs in the 2 games. Let's look at something bad though, now that we've seen a lot. There you go. 76 hours? Thumbs down. Okay, this is the last one we'll look at. Oof, let's see it. Starts off well enough. After the halfway point, the mobile origins becomes the show and it becomes a slog, especially with the final chapter. A lot of padding, repeated cutscenes, reused materials. The story can fall apart with the amount of scrutiny. Personal gripe, the side characters love posturing as if they're gonna fight big bads, though the MC is the one who does all the fighting. Gets old fast. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Speaking of the cutscenes, it feels like you're moving to cutscene, 20 minutes to explore a dungeon, beat a boss. It really comes off as half your playtime watching cutscenes. And the cutscenes aren't good. I don't mind cutscenes if they're good, but they're so boring. You may be even tempted to skip a lot of side quests because they're boring. The system is promising. Halfway point becomes abandoned. 3 active, 2 passives, extremely limited. 1 passive for any character attempting to deal damage. You may tweak a character by changing out a skill, but that's it. The job system has no purpose. It is true. There is no secondary jobs for your companions. So even though you have 36 people, like they can get, you have to swap them out because they're all set classes. You simply look at most new characters to see if any skills, and the rest of them go into the bin. Another purpose for JP would have been nice. Instead of collecting tens and over 1,000 points of no use, everything takes only 50k. Difficulty wise, disappointing. Completing routes, progressing through different story paths does nothing to raise the level or difficulty of the others. So after completing a path, you're over leveled. Thank you. I see, I trust this guy because he played almost 80 hours. He has the same complaints that I do here. You're over leveled for the other, so there's no reason to grind. It gives you an item to place in town to halt experience. Let's see, the game didn't need extra padding. Early into the second half, you'll be strong enough to no longer need to fully engage in the weakness mechanic. Oh, and simply go through all the trash mobs using brute force and ignorance. If you enjoyed the different bosses in number 2, with the weakness system, you'll be disappointed here. Boss fights are quickly relegated to staying alive, long enough to break the boss and unload everything you can. Yes, exactly. It works on the first boss, works all the bosses in the final path. Most bosses differentiate themselves with minor things, such as status effects, but it's just boring. The only way to make things more difficult is by crippling yourself. That's not a good way to balance the game. TLDR, game is too long. Not balanced properly for difficulty characters building that gets abandoned 34 hours in. Can't recommend it. So, there's a lot of people who like it and dislike it. I'm at the point where I gave it a good shot. I think 10 hours is good enough, but we played for 18 hours. And if I don't feel compelled to play even further after that, I'm sorry. I supported the game by purchasing it. I got it on Steam. I got the physical version. Cart key, by the way, stupid game keys. But I hope they continue making more of these games because I want them to really nail down the formula. It just feels like with this one, they grabbed all the assets and then they put it into a very, very boring ass story. Could have been better. I want it to be better, but it is what it is. So that's it. We're dropping this game fully.